This is Andrew O'Donnell with Supercharged Stocks. I'm delighted to be here with Roger Rosmus from Goliath Resources. Great to have you in town here in Vancouver. How are you?
Doing great. I brought some nice sunny weather with me for you guys and cleared out the smoke. But I've been out here all week taking meetings before I head up to Terrace, BC, to go for site visits and essentially looking forward to be drilling our brand new targets that we found over the last couple of years, and quite excited.
Can you tell us just a little bit about yourself
Sure.
and how you got involved with Goliath?
Okay. All right. Yeah. So basically, been an entrepreneur for my entire career. Left Calgary in '87 to Toronto. Actually flipped a coin. It was Vancouver, Toronto.
Nice.
Initially, it was actually Vancouver. My buddy convinced me to do the best 2 out of 3. I said, okay, see you in 36 hours. But
Wow.
anyhow, I met a gentleman out there that was doing reverse takeovers and raising capital for public companies, and that's really where I got my feet wet in the sector. I did that for a few years, and then I got into mergers and acquisitions, opened up Aberdeen Gold Advisory Services. We did about 50 M&A type transactions, dealing with family-owned enterprises, selling them to private equity or strategics from the U.S.
Excellent.
And then I guess in 2004, opened up my limited LMD, limited market dealer license, Aberdeen Gold Capital Markets, and then I've rolled that into an exempt market dealer, which is Aberdeen Gold Capital Markets as an exempt market dealer, and so I've been raising capital for public companies since that time, and a lot of resource sector, industrial technology, that type of thing. But I got to tell you, when I saw these assets that J2 Syndicate presented to me, I had to create Goliath last year, and looking forward to drilling these things this year, because it's a once in a lifetime opportunity, I think.
Yeah. So I know I've covered you guys as well. You've got 4 properties.
Yes.
I guess 2 are technically within the Golden Triangle, and 2 are just on the cusp.
Oh yeah.
But that's also a benefit I see.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, it's about 44,000 hectares in size. 2 which are in the triangle, being Gold Digger and Bingo. The furthest sort of the southern point there, but right out of Stewart, BC, and then we've got obviously Copperhead and Lucky Strike just outside of Terrace, which is very close. Those 2 around Terrace, we've got logging road access, very close to power. Like Lucky Strike is about 3 clicks to power. Logging road access, actually can drive 500 meters within our drill site at Lucky Strike, the Prosperity Zone there. 3 clicks to main highway, and then obviously got infrastructure in Terrace. And then the other one, Copperhead, is a little bit closer to Smithers, and that one's about 6 clicks to the power. Log road access, highway close by, infrastructure. So it's just an amazing sort of situation where we've got infrastructure, finding everywhere widespread high grade mineralization, gold, silver, and or copper at surface, just splattered everywhere. It's quite mind boggling actually.
That's great. And those 2, Lucky Strike and Copperhead, are the ones you're drilling now.
Well, we will be
before October.
Well, I came all this way to see drill core, not to check the beautiful view. But, so I hope to see a bunch of core next week.
Yes.
And I believe we're going to be drilling Copperhead first, and as well, we just discovered a new spot, outcrop at Lucky Strike, the gold source, where last year, 2017, we did find a 3.1 ounce gold sample in the float. It was kind of, we thought, okay, an outlier, didn't really know where it came from, so we didn't really do much about it until earlier this year. They actually found where we believe the source of this high grade piece of rock, where we've channel cut that now. This hydrothermal breccia at surface, massive outcropping, and we'll be drilling that as well. So before I get sort of further into Lucky, so Copperhead, what brought us there is some grabs that we took in 2016, 2017. We have up to almost 8% copper. This volcanic breccia at surface, as well as one sample, a chip that we did, 11-meter chip sample, was just over 4% copper and over 45 grams per ton silver.
Wow.
And that was in a 450-meter area. So we'll be drilling where we found that one, where we did that one chip sample. We've got alteration at surface, potassic alteration. It's just, it's incredible to see. Yeah, so we're drilling that, and then I believe they've found something in addition to that area on the other side, I guess, over the little ridge, is another zone that we're going to be drilling as well. So we're expanding the drill program, which is pretty amazing, yeah. So now it's looking real good for us. So that'll be drilled first, Copperhead, and then now let's move to Lucky Strike. The big target is the Prosperity Zone, and what's brought the team there initially was completely surrounded by the two most prolific placer creeks in the entire district. Produced over 13,000 ounces of gold, and nuggets reported of it's like about 6.5 ounces, which is incredible. So all the placer creeks that run north, south, east, west, I mean, all the creeks have gold in it. So I'm not a geologist, but clearly logic would suggest must be the source. So the actual area is over 3 kilometers by 2 kilometers, but the focus is a 2.5 kilometer by 1.5 kilometer zone. We know it's at least 500 meters deep. We flew SkyTem in 2017. So it's a textbook classic geophysical porphyry signature.
I think I read a quote from you that says, these nuggets don't roll upstream.
Oh yeah, they don't swim upstream.
They don't swim upstream.
Yeah. And so in addition, we got the placer creeks. We've got this geophysical signature textbook, and then what we did is we did a soil sample grid over top of this area, the Prosperity Zone, and that kicked up over 7 grams gold, 557 ppm copper, tungsten, antimony, and bismuth, which is a classic textbook geochemical signature. So we got the placer creeks, and we got the model, the geophysical model, and we've got the geochemistry that suggests this thing's porphyry. So it's quacking like a porphyry, it's walking like a porphyry. It's, in my mind, we're going to have one massive discovery this year.
I know I did a bit of an analysis on the Garibaldi project, and looked at, with similar time frames, what they look like as a stock. What do you see, I guess, leading into that is some of the challenges in just the general market today? Because part times I look and say this should be worth a heck of a lot more. And certainly the story's starting to get out there. But the market's a lot different than it used to be even, say, 10 years ago.
Of course. Yeah, it's been super difficult, but my motto is don't leave any stones unturned. So I've been on the road nonstop since earlier this year. I've given out probably 2,000 business cards through lunches, presentation dinners, all sorts of types of meetings. So the word's getting out there. So I do believe a lot of people will probably would like to pay a higher price for the stock, knowing that we actually have something there versus the risk component. But mind you, I think we've tapped into thousands of people just with what we've been up to on the marketing side and the meetings and so on. That we hit something we could potentially have, or I'm hoping, is have a reaction like we saw with the Garibaldi from 12 cents going up to 5.27. Yeah, 5.27. That was like a 44 bagger. But it's still even holding decent. I mean, it's still trading at a $3 share price, about a $300 million market cap. And for us, that would mean, for Goliath, that would mean about a $2 share price for us. And $12 million in the till, because assuming the warrants would be exercised, that are outstanding at the moment.
I mean, if you can talk about anything for winter, I know a lot of times people, especially in Vancouver, as soon as November rolls around, they start looking around, because like, oh, I can't look at the ones up north now. We can't, look into the future too far, but do you have any kind of plans and program for what's going to go on in the winter? Is it more kind of like you're going to be doing more corporate type of things and
networking things, relationships, continue to network? Again, I've been on the road nonstop, which is great. And everyone goes. I mean, you can see it in the stock. We traded 60 million shares, I think, in the last 2 months. Trading days, and for a junior, I think that's quite rare. But the fact is, on the phones daily, marketing, walking around, meeting whoever wants to hear the story. But just before I get to that question, I'll get back to Lucky Strike. So initially this year, before they got in the field, we just had the 2 targets we were drilling. We were drilling Copperhead, Lucky Strike, never been drilled before, brand new discoveries. And again, the only reason why these things have been found recently is because of the recession of the glaciers, and more importantly, as I understand, the permanent snowpack is no longer there. otherwise these things were inaccessible.
Yeah.
Right. So Lucky Strike, Copperhead. So in my mind, we've got a GT Gold type of target, which at Lucky Strike, and then the Garibaldi, we have that down at Copperhead. So this year, well, actually 2017, we found this nugget of, well, not a rock afloat.
Yeah.
That had over 3.1 ounces, not grams, ounces gold per ton. We saw it and we thought, okay, just an outlier. We don't know where it came from, so don't make a big thing out of it. So this season, we actually found what we believe we've found the source of where this thing came from. The mineralization looks almost identical. So we've actually channel cut that. That's in the lab for getting assays. And so we've actually expanded our drill program to include this area.
Yeah.
And that's more like a VMS type of situation.
Okay, yeah.
Because up at the Prosperity, we have a porphyry target.
Yeah.
This massive, 2.5 kilometer, 1.5 kilometer. And it's at least 500 meters deep, this whatever's down there. And now this gold source is down to the southeast of the property,
okay,
by the Quack Formation. So that's more SK Creek,
yes,
kind of the Hazelton Volcanics.
Yeah.
And I mean that 3 ounce material, if that stuff is running, I mean that's SK Creek kind of numbers.
Yes.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So we're super excited about that. Now we've got 3 targets, not just 2.
Yeah.
We've expanded our IP by 50% at Lucky Strike to include all this, and I think it just increases our probability of success. So we could have, I'm confident that we're going to have. I'm confident that we're going to have at least 1 discovery, and if we hit all 3, I mean the world's going to be our oyster.
Yeah.
Right.
That's going to be a big game changer for sure.
Big game changer, and it's this whole thing of dimes to dollars. I think that people, as you know, pay up for new discoveries, because a lot of these things up in the triangle are rehashes of old projects and trying to make them work and so on, which are great. I mean, they're not bashing the assets, but ultimately, the market wants to see brand new discoveries, and something that's elephant sized, which all these are, and which all tick the boxes for senior mining companies. That's the model, is to do joint venture, strategic investment, or and potential takeout down the road. So we want to take this thing up the value curve as far as we possibly can, and then whatever happens. We just want to get the biggest lift for the shareholders.
That's excellent. That's great.
Yeah.
I love that you touched on the project generator model, but also for people to know that there is an exit strategy.
Sure.
That you're not saying, listen, we want to go build a mine and mine this thing. It's no, this is our strategy. We're going to lift it up, pass it on.
Yeah.
And it lets people know that you're chipping away at the risks and moving along that curve, like you said, up that curve, which is for this space exactly where you want to be, get the biggest lift.
Of course. And the model, came from Bill Chorneve, who put these package of assets together. He's got a long history of doing big deals with senior mining companies. Is the one back the Golden Mile, which went a prodigy, taken up by Argonaut for $320 million. He originally staked the Supremo Zone up in the Yukon back in the day, and that ultimately got taken out by, I guess Sean Ryan came in and restaked that post, but did a $520 million deal.
Goldcorp,
and then with Goldcorp, and then more recently the $53 million joint venture with Newmont Mining up in the Yukon with his Plateau South project. So
all the relationships are there.
He's got all the relationships. His team's amazing, and I wouldn't be here without them. So it's I'd be still financing other companies, other deals, right? So very grateful to have that opportunity to create Goliath, and hopefully we're going to have a huge success. And as far as the strategy, in my mind, we've got 4 projects, all of which are company maker potential. Just one is good enough for one public company. So the idea is, hopefully we get maybe a senior partner or 2 at some point, and we can butterfly these things out into a new pubco, dividend the stock out to the existing shareholders so they get to play directly in that play, and then finance those individually, type of thing. So that's, in my mind, kind of the bigger picture of yes, I do believe we're going to have a senior partner or 2. They're very interested in what we're up to, and obviously with Bill, what he's been doing for his entire career, and those relationships that he's built along the way that we have the benefit of, and creating potentially another 3 or 4 new pubcos, which would add additional value uptick for our shareholders, and that's the plan. That's what I like to see. I mean, it's easier said than done.
Sure.
But if you have the assets, then you know what? That's a good problem to have.
That's a great problem.
Oh, yeah.
Usually I ask people just to sum up, just give a couple highlights, but really this has been nonstop highlights.
Yeah.
I don't even know which.
I could talk for hours.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much going on and there's so much potential, and
Yeah.
like you said, you're mitigating risks, and the data, you're in a kind of data collecting phase.
Yes.
And it's just a matter of people like myself, is getting the news out there to people that don't know, they're not paying
Sure.
attention.
Yes, I'd say it's still fairly unknown.
Yeah.
So even though I've given away 2,000 business cards
Yes. Yeah.
this spring till now, and but it's funny, you talk to guys who haven't heard of it, and it's like, okay, well, here's the ticker,
Yeah.
check it out, and they're like, wow, holy smokes,
Yeah.
great volume, like.
Talking about just the volume,
Yes.
60 million shares trading. Sometimes you can see people playing with the stock, but
Oh, yeah.
it's tightly held though at the same time
It
to
is.
some degree. But
I think we got a lot of penny flippers in there right now.
Yeah.
They're chasing whatever's got momentum, if it's this or that. But
Yeah.
we've had the benefit of John Newell, portfolio manager at Fieldhouse Capital here
Yes.
in Vancouver, who's also a technical analyst.
Yeah. Yeah.
Has been in the business forever, highly respected, highly regarded gentleman. He actually had a client, I guess a friend, that owned 3 million shares of Garibaldi, GGI,
Yes.
at 12 cents, and
Yeah.
we hired John to say, okay, can you please coach me as to when should I pull the trigger? So I believe John targeted Garibaldi at like a $5.25. I think that it peaked out at 5.27,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
think the story goes that, pardon me, his friend / client sold the bulk of his stock over $5 a share, which is a pretty sort of life-changing kind of a transaction. And so what he's done for Goliath is he's actually chartered us as well.
Yes.
He's written up a great article on Streetwise, I
Yes.
believe it is. And
Yeah.
so he's got a first target of 40 cents on Goliath, a second target is 60, and his third target is $1.60.
Yeah.
So I think that's has helped as well, obviously with his support.
Yeah.
And one of these articles that he's published. So
Yeah, so it's a great looking chart as well. So
the chart is looking primo
yeah.
for the technical folks for sure.
That's perfect. Excellent.
Excellent, thanks. When I was there last year, I'm watching the geos and the prospectors and so on, so I've never been to that type of camp before. I'm going, is this a good day? Is this normal? Like, what is it? And they go, no, you don't understand. In a summer program, through the entire summer, you might have one good day. We're having a good day every day. So these guys are finding new stuff every day, and that just doesn't happen, right?
Wow.
So to the point that we got 44,000 hectares. A vast majority of our projects have been not really looked at extensively. So right now, we're focusing in on the drill targets, and that's obviously we're going to get the biggest bang for a dollar.
Yeah.
This year, and with the hope we hit 1 or 3 new discoveries. We go raise a bunch of money later this year between now and the end. From drilling success to the end of the year, and we go to town on these things in 2019. So the idea is we just want to validate. We have porphyry at the Prosperity on Lucky Strike. We want to validate that we have this potential SK Creek kind of resource or potential, and then over at Copperhead again, with that high grade 8% copper or 45 grams per ton silver. I mean those are big numbers, all sitting at surface. All drill holes will begin in mineralization.
Yeah.
The question is how deep are we going to get some big intercepts, and what are the grades going to be?
Yeah.
So
it's exciting.
It is very exciting.
Well, I appreciate you coming out and spending a bit of time with me, and really excited to see what and to hear what comes out from your trip up north, and when you release some information.
Stay tuned, it's around the corner.
Excellent. Thank you, Roger. Thanks so much.
See that.
Cheers.
All right, thanks.
Thanks.